Okay, so I started to do 2C one way and then I changed my mind. So hence again, the awkward end to the last video. So we are going to have a phase shift of pi, but that's the equivalent of just doing a negative times the sine function. So it's basically the same problem as we did on 2A, except that we're making the first one negative. So the first voltage is going to be negative 110 sine of 0. Or cis 0, right? Let's go ahead and change it to cis 0. Plus, we're going to have, let me go look back at my problem. Where was it? 110. See, I'm looking back at 2A, right? So I'm going back to this. So instead of 110, I'm doing negative 110 and then cis 0. Okay, and then 110 cis 2 pi over 3 plus 110 cis 4 pi over 3. All right, and so then we're going to go ahead and change it. We're going to write it out. 110 times cosine 0 plus I sine 0 plus 110 cosine 2 pi over 3 plus I sine over 2 pi over 3. Oh, it's not going to fit. I'm going to put it over here. Plus 110 cosine 4 pi over 3 plus I sine 4 pi over 3. All right, now we're going to simplify all of this. Cosine of 0, okay, if I look at a unit circle, let's put one right here. Love my unit circles. If I do cosine of 0, that's 1 and 0. So negative 110 times 1. And then sine of 0 is 0, so plus I times 0. And then the next one, 110, 2 pi over 3 is right here. So that's negative 1/2 and square root of 3 over 2. So 110 times negative 1/2 plus I times square root of 3 over 2 plus, here I go again. Since I moved this down here, I don't have room for when I take my cosine and sine. So again, putting it down here, 110 cosine of 4 pi over 3. Well, that's right here. And so that's going to be negative 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2, or the coordinates there. So that'd be times negative 1/2 plus I times negative root 3 over 2. Okay, if I simplify all these, negative 110 times 1 is negative 110. Negative 110 times I times 0, well, that's just 0, so that's going to cancel out. So there's my first one, done. Second one, 110 times negative 1/2, that's negative 55, plus I times 110 root 3 over 2, so I can write that as 55 root 3. So I did 110 divided by 2 times square root of 3. And then the next one, again, 110 times negative 1/2, that's going to be negative 55 plus 110 divided by 2 is 55, but this one is negative, so negative 55 root 3. So this is basically what the exact same thing that happened on part A, except that this is negative 110 instead of being 110. So now when we combine our like terms here, instead of this one canceling out with these two, which is what should have happened to you on part A. So see how I'm being sneaky here? This is actually the exact same work as you would have done on part A, except this would have been positive. So these don't cancel out. Instead, they add together to negative 220. So I get negative 220. And then 55 root 3 plus, oops, I forgot my I. Plus negative 55 root 3i. These are going to cancel out, so I'm going to have plus 0i. Now when I find the magnitude, because remember we got to change this back to polar form in order to find the magnitude. To find the magnitude, I'm going to do the square root of negative 220 squared plus 0 squared, because it's the coefficients of both of those, which just gives me 220, which is, this was like one of those show that, right? So it does give me 220. Bam! There you have it.